Now we've got to keep an eye on Amazon, too. The Wall Street Journal reporting Amazon is stepping into our health data. Amazon is planning to sell software to doctors and hospitals to mine our medical records, all in an attempt for better patient service. But you know what happens there? We're always worried about that. Joining me now, Republican strategist Ford O'Connell and Democrat strategist Kevin Walling. Ford and Kevin, first to you, Ford. You heard our conversations just now on all of this. What's your reaction to all of this, Ford?
Well, look, I think that big tech is like the Wild West. There are no rules, and essentially, collectively, they wield more power than Big Brother. And with the Democrats taking back the House and with folks like Elizabeth Warren for running for president, there are going to be regulations. The only question is when. Even Apple's Tim Cook admits this much.
All right, Kevin, here's the thing. These guys act very altruistic in public. They act like, oh, you know, we're sorry, we're altruistic, but then we're going to get your permission. We're going to get your consent later after we push it, after we take your stuff. What's your reaction to all this, Kevin?
Sure, Liz. I'm so happy you're shining a light on this, and I couldn't agree with Ford more that it's the Wild West. You know, Mark Zuckerberg testified before Congress last April. It's clear we need him back as soon as possible to answer some of these questions. If not, Congress, you're also seeing a dip in terms of their stock value, down 20%. So clearly consumers are concerned about privacy issues, about regulatory issues regarding Facebook. So if Congress doesn't get them to the table, hopefully consumers will push them to become better citizens when it comes to these issues.
Yeah, you know, Kevin makes an important point for it because here, let me back up. Facebook also let Cambridge Analytica read our Facebook messages. We don't know who else is reading our Facebook messages. This is really bad. Will the market fix it or should government fix it?
Well, I don't know that the market is going to fix it. And I think that you're also raising another question, Liz, and that's very simple. And that is that basically data privacy is seen in America among voters and on a bipartisan scale on both sides of the aisle like pre-existing conditions. And when we look over to the EU and what they're doing with data privacy, I think that that's going to be a guide going forward. But remember, President Trump is not very big on regulation, and he wants to avoid the headaches of a monstrous piece of legislation like Dodd-Frank and its unintended consequences. I see something very narrowly tailored, working towards data privacy, and if that doesn't work, then you may have more government regulation. The idea is to put some brakes on big tech, but not to clamp them down, because remember, Liz, they're also a big part of driving our economy and our jobs.
Yeah, that's an important point, too, that Silicon Valley is a big economic growth driver. Kevin, you know, the level of debate is so impoverished in this country. That's what critics have been saying. The fact that big tech has been censoring conservative thought and discussions on policy, on economic policy, when way back in the day we saw Ted Kennedy, I will always say this, Ted Kennedy and Chuck Schumer voted for the tax cuts. We don't see those debates happening on Facebook or Google social media. I mean, what is going on here with these algorithms built by liberal Silicon Valley basically censoring conservative debate? It is ruining debate and ruining this democracy. That's what the polls are showing.
Liz, I couldn't agree with you more. Listen, I'm a diehard Democrat. That's why I come on this show, because I really love how you host it and give a voice to both sides, where we can have a debate, where we can move forward as a country, because I think that's where the majority of Americans are. And it really should give us pause if there is that kind of censorship going, which is why I support bipartisanship efforts. You mentioned Senator Klobuchar and Senator Kennedy from Louisiana that are pushing forward with that very thing in the United States Senate.
Well, this story is not going to go away. We're going to stay on it. Kevin and Ford, we're going to have you back on to debate it and talk about it. Thank you so much
for
your analysis and insights tonight.